Very good morning, everyone. Am I audible? If I'm audible, please do respond in the chat box. Okay, fine. Okay, today happens to be day 3 demo class of Python. I would like to write today happens to be day 3 and very important day. I'll be teaching so many technical topics in today's class. Day 3 Python demo class. Hoping that you have seen day 1 demo class as well as day 2 demo class. I would like to continue with day 3 demo class. If you would have missed day 1 or day 2 demo class, I think I have given the access in the YouTube. That is, a YouTube video is there, day 1 Python demo class as well as day 2 demo class. You can just watch those videos if you have really missed the classes. What I have discussed in the yesterday's class, can you just tell me in day 2 Python demo class, what I had discussed? Okay, instead of asking you, I will just do one thing. I would like to open the notes. Python September 7th, day 2. Okay, in the yesterday class, I have just taken the data and I have printed the data 100 times. That means printing the data that is welcome to study online 100 times in Java as well as Python. And I have just taken the program to swap two numbers using Java as well as Python. And when it comes to Java, how many lines of code is there? In order to swap two numbers, how many lines of code you're supposed to write in Java? I don't think you're supposed to write 16 lines of code. Same thing if you're performing in Python. How many lines of code you have to use? I think I have given the enough clarity about these things. Yeah, very good. We have to make use of what? 4 lines of code in order to get the same output. Okay, sir, today what you're going to explain. Listen carefully. In the yesterday discussion, my explanation was very simple. I should be showing you that Python syntax is very simple and Python is very easy to learn. And Python is a beginner's language. That is what I had shown in the yesterday class. If you just ask me in today's class what I'll be doing, I'll just tell today happens to be day 3. I will tell. Next, I would be asking few questions. Fine. Please tell me the answer. What kind of software is used to convert the high level language into machine level language? I think in day 1 demo class I have done that. Based upon that knowledge, just tell me the answer. What kind of software is used to convert high level language into machine level language? Sir, why it has to be converted into machine level language? Why? Because ultimately microprocessor will understand what? Machine level language. And that is the reason I have to convert. Correct, right? Okay, very good. A compiler is used. What do you mean by compiler? Assume that in the interview, if they're asking, what do you mean by compiler? What should be your answer? Okay, very good. Compiler is a system software which converts high level language into machine level language. I would like to consider the diagram. And do you think only compiler is used to convert the high level language into machine level language? Yes or no? Do you think only compiler software is used? I would like to consider the heading happens to be conversion of high level language into machine level language. This is what the heading conversion of high level language into machine level language. Maybe in the yesterday example, whatever I have told, it's the initial software which got invented. That is compiler. Very good. The software name happens to be compiler. Next, not only compiler, there is something called as interpreter. There is something called as interpreter. That means from now onwards, if anyone asks you how many softwares are used or how many software will come into picture in order to convert the high level language into machine level language, your answer should be very simple: compiler as well as interpreter. Right now, we will just explore what exactly this compiler is, what exactly this interpreter, and how the operations will be performed in compiler. All those things I will explain. Just listen carefully. I would like to open the whiteboard. Let me just open the next page. Yeah. Assume this happens to be the microprocessor. I would like to consider this happens to be the microprocessor. A microprocessor will understand only one language. What is that language? Microprocessor will understand only one language. What is that language name? Very good. That language happens to be what? Machine level language. As already I have told, if you are interacting in between the class, you'll enjoy the class and you'll be getting the complete hold of the topic. No one I'm telling. If you're feeling like this is like some other college classes, all those things, 100% no. My style of teaching is very different. I just want the interaction from the student. Okay. This Microprocessor will understand only one language, that happens to be zeros and ones. It will only understand zeros and ones. Or technically, I can just tell it as binary code. Yes or no? Technically, I can just tell it as binary code. Binary code means what? Zeros and ones. Or if you want me to tell pure technical words, I will just tell machine level language. Whatever the microprocessor is there, this microprocessor will understand what? Only machine level language. Uh, if you provide the machine level language, then only you'll be getting the output. Yes or no? If you provide machine level language as the input to this microprocessor, then only you'll be getting the output. Sir, if not, we'll not be getting the output, sir. 100% no. If not, you'll not be getting the output at all. Just till this happens to be the output. In order to obtain the output through this microprocessor, what are the steps you have to follow? If you ask me, it is very simple. Assume that you are the developer. I will just consider you are the developer. If you are a developer, what you will do? Don't you think your duty is to write the code? I will just tell this happens to be the developer. As a developer, you will be writing the code. I will just consider this happens to be the high level language. From 1960s, what kind of language they are using in order to write the code as a developer? In day one class, I have told, as a developer from 1960s, as a developer from 1960s, in what kind of style they used to write the language? Very good. They used to code in high level language. I will just tell this happens to be the high level language. That is the reason I can just tell HLL. As a developer, you'll be writing the high level language, whichever may be the high level language. You'll be writing the code in high level language. Already I have told, high level language means human understandable language. That means as a human being, easily we can understand. Technically, whatever the code you will write initially, that is only called as what? Source code. I will just tell this happens to be the source code. Next, listen carefully. As a developer, if you are writing your source code in the high level language, directly you cannot provide this high level language to the microprocessor. Why? Because microprocessor will scold. No, brother, I will not understand this high level language. Please provide me this machine level language. That is the reason one software will come into picture. What is the name of the software? Just now you only told. What is the name of the software? Very good. The name of the software happens to be compiler. I'll just tell this happens to be the compiler. What is the duty of compiler? If you ask me, compiler will take the high level language as the input and it will produce the machine level language as the output. I'll just tell this happens to be the machine level language. Let me just consider this happens to be the binary code or machine level language. Technically, this is only called as binary code. Already I have told machine level language can be uttered as binary code. That is machine level language I will tell. Next, okay, sir, how this machine level language will look like? It is very simple. It will look like 1010. Simply, I'm writing that's all. 0011, 0101. That means like this, the data would be available within this binary code or machine level language. All right, now think and answer. Do you think directly is it possible to provide this machine level language into microprocessor? 100% no. So many things will be involved in between this. You have to understand that. Whenever I want to execute any task using microprocessor, don't you think it has to be placed within what? RAM. How many of them are aware of RAM? Because whenever I want to perform some task or if you want to execute something, don't you think the data should be available on the RAM? Assume that right now I'm using Zoom application, right now I'm using Windows Media Player application. If I'm using Chrome browser, all this particular task has to be uploaded on the RAM. If the data is available on the RAM, then only will be getting the output. Yes or no? If I double click on Zoom, don't you think that Zoom will be loaded on the RAM? Yes or no? Because these are the minute points you have to understand. And that is the reason I will just tell this happens to be the RAM. I will tell that is random access memory. Within this RAM, whatever the data is there, this binary code should be loaded. I will just tell this happens to be the binary code or machine level language. Within this, I would like to consider 1010, 0011, 0101. If this binary code or machine level language code has to be loaded on the RAM, means what kind of software is used for that? If this particular binary code has to be loaded on the RAM, means what kind of software will be used internally? Yes, all these things are very basic. What is the software name? Whenever you want to load a file on the RAM, what is the software name? Very good. The software name happens to be loader software. Loader is a software which will load the file on what? RAM. It might be a machine level language file. It might be any other file. It will take that file. It will load it on the what? RAM. That is the reason I will tell this generated machine level language code would be taken by the loader. This loader will load it on the RAM. If it is available on the RAM, what is going to happen? Ultimately, RAM will be interconnected with the microprocessor. Next, through this microprocessor, we'll be getting the output. Is that clear for everyone? this process, whatever I have explained, technically this process is only called as compilation process. I'll just tell this happens to be compilation process. Compilation process, or you can just write it as compilation. Anything is fine. From now onwards, if anyone is asking what do you mean by compilation, what should be your answer? Assume that in the interview panel, if they're asking what do you mean by compilation, compilation is a process where the high level language code will be converted into binary language code using the software called as compiler. Is that fine? Next, the question will be what do you mean by compiler? Then although you are having the knowledge on compiler, you can just easily tell compiler is the system software which will take high level language code as the input and it will produce the binary code as the output. Later that binary code would be taken by loader and it would be loaded on the RAM. Ultimately, if it is there on the RAM, microprocessor will execute so that you will be getting the output. And one more thing you have to understand, a small change is there when compared to compiler and interpreter. Listen carefully. All right, now how many lines of high level language code is there? If you just look at this thing, how many lines are there? Please tell me how many lines I have written. I don't think I have written 3 lines of code, but like this 100 lines of code will be there. It might be 1,000 lines of code. It might be 10,000 lines of code. All this high level language code will be taken in a single shot. All this high level language code will be taken in a single shot. Single shot means completely it will take that high level language and it will produce this machine level language code in a single shot. Single shot means completely it will generate all these things, not one by one. In a single shot it will generate. Is that fine? That means, guys, best example what I can give, yeah, if you are having a burger, assume that if a small burger is there, don't you think you can eat that burger in a single shot? Yes or no? If some small burger is there, assume that it's a very small burger, you can eat that burger in a single shot if you are very hungry. Similarly, do you think if it is a large pizza, you can eat that pizza in a single shot? Is that possible? In a single shot means completely together you can just eat that? No, 100% no, right? Best example, if you just take gulab jamun, you can just eat it, that gulab jamun in a single shot. Directly you can take the gulab jamun, correct, right? That is what compiler doing. That means it will take the high level language code in a single shot. It will convert it into what? Machine level language. Similarly, if complete biryani is there or if it is a pizza, do you think you can eat that complete thing in a single shot? 100% no. Piece by piece, or maybe I have to just take some small amount of pizza, you have to eat later some small amount of pizza, correct, right? Okay, sir, how those things will be happening? I think right now everyone got the clarity about what do you mean by compilation or what is compiler, how the things will work. Right now, assume that as a developer, if you are writing the high level language code, I'll just consider as a developer, if you are writing the high level language code, I will just tell this happens to be the high level language code, or some of them might be calling it as source code. I would like to consider this happens to be the source code. This is source code. Whatever the source code is there, assume that same lines of code I will take, 3 lines of code only I will take. But in reality, not only 3 lines, plenty of lines will be there. It might be more than 1,000 lines. Right now, one more software is used in order to convert the high level language code into what? Machine level language code. Why? Because ultimately, whatever the microprocessor I have written, this microprocessor will understand only what? Zeros and ones. This microprocessor will understand only zeros and ones. That is the reason I have to convert that high level language code into what? Machine level language code in order to get the output. In order to get this output, I have to just convert that. All right, now think and answer. What is the one more software name? I think already I have written that software name. What is the one more software name? I just want the answer from your end. What is the one more software name? Very good. The one more software name happens to be interpreter. Okay, sir, how this interpreter will be used, or how the data will be used, or how the data will be converted? If you ask me, it is very simple. Interpreter is also a system software. Interpreter is also a system software. I would like to write this happens to be interpreter. Interpreter. Interpreter is a system software which will take this high level language code as the input and it will also produce the machine level language code. I will just tell this happens to be the machine level language code or binary code. Within this, what will be there? If you ask me, I will just tell 1010. Next. Next, it will not convert. That means what is going to happen if you ask me? Listen carefully. Interpreter is a system software which will take the piece of code not in a single shot, line by line it will take. Is that fine for everyone? That's line by line it will take. That means what is going to happen? It will take this first line. This first line will be taken by the interpreter. After taking the first line, it will produce the corresponding machine level language code. If the corresponding machine level language code is being produced, don't you think this corresponding machine level language code has to be loaded onto the RAM? Yes or no? This corresponding machine level language code has to be loaded onto the RAM. Line by line, it should happen. That means next what is going to happen? Whatever the machine level language code that is being generated, I will just tell this happens to be the machine level language code, or technically I can just tell binary code. Whatever the binary code that is being generated, that is the machine level language code. That machine level language code, a single line machine level language code, would be taken by this loader software. I'll just tell the software name happens to be loader software. Same loader software will be used. The duty of this loader software is to load whatever the data that is available on the RAM. That is the reason I would like to consider this happens to be the RAM. Internally, this RAM and the microprocessor would be interconnected. I'll just tell internally this RAM and microprocessor would be interconnected. Okay. Next, what is going to happen? If the data has been loaded, whatever the data is there, if the data has been loaded here, I'll just tell 1010. If 1010 is available, don't you think that 1010 will be taken by this microprocessor and ultimately will be getting the output? Yes or no? That means only you'll be getting the output for the first line of code. The first line of code will be executed. Next, you'll be getting the output. I'll just tell this happens to be the output. Okay, sir. Next, what is going to happen? Next, the control will be given to interpreter. From this microprocessor, the control would be given to interpreter. That is the reason I will just use a different color. From this microprocessor, again, the control will come to this interpreter. Sir, why this control will come to interpreter? Why? Because do you think the complete line of code has been executed within the source code? Do you think the complete line has been executed? 100% no. Still there are two lines of code, correct, right? Still, if there is two lines of code, what should happen? As an interpreter, it will take the second line of code. It will take the second line of code and it will convert that second line of code into what? Machine level language code. I'll just tell this happens to be the corresponding machine level language code. 0011 I will take. And next, that 0011 will be taken by the loader. It will be loaded onto the RAM. I will just tell this happens to be the RAM. Within this RAM, what will be there if you ask me? That 0011 will be there. Later, that machine level language code will be given to microprocessor. Microprocessor will execute and give you the output. Once again, the control will be given to interpreter. Why once again the control has been taken by interpreter? Now tell me the answer. Why once again the control will come to interpreter? Why? Because don't you think still one more line is there? It will take the last line of code. Interpreter will take the last line of code. After taking that last line of code, it will produce the high level language code. I will just tell this happens to be the high level language code 0101. This high level language, this machine level language code would be loaded on the RAM. I will just tell this happens to be the RAM. This is 0101. Ultimately, if it is there on the RAM, microprocessor will execute, you will be getting the output. Do you think after executing the source code, still the control will be given to this interpreter? Yes or no? No, 100% no. Why the control has to be given for interpreter? Why? Because ultimately all the lines of code which is available within the source code has been executed successfully by the interpreter. Right now, what I have to understand from this, if you ask me, the above process is called as what? Compilation process. What about this process called as? Technically, I think everyone in a position to tell the answer. What is this process called as? I don't think this process is only nothing but interpretation process. Interpretation process. The above one happens to be what? Compilation process. The below one happens to what? Interpretation process. Is there any doubt for anyone with respect to interpretation? From now onwards, if anyone is asking, what do you mean by interpretation? It is very simple. Interpretation is a mechanism where interpreter software is used to convert the high level language into what? Machine level language. The next question will be what? What do you mean by interpreter? Your answer should be very simple. Interpreter is a system software which will convert the high level language into machine level language, not in a single shot, but or rather, it will convert the high level language into machine level language code line by line. Is that clear? That means line by line execution will happen when it comes to compilation, that is compiler. When it comes to interpreter, sorry, when it comes to compiler, in a single shot, all the things will be executed. When it comes to interpreter, line by line execution will happen. Is there any doubt for anyone? Guys, I just want the response from your end. Is there any doubt for anyone? Okay, very good. Next, I would like to write the definition. Let me just write the definition of those things. I would like to come back to the screen. Okay. Afterwards, I'll give you the time. You can just take the screenshot. Only initial 3 days will be of screenshot. That's all. Afterwards, you have to write the notes in the class. What do you mean by compiler? Please tell me what do you mean by compiler? Although I would have given one definition in the yesterday class, but completely I have to precise the definition. Just tell me what do you mean by compiler? I'll just tell compiler is a system software. Compiler is a system software which converts high level language code, high level language into machine level language in a single shot. Next, what do you mean by interpreter? What is the duty of interpreter? Same thing only I will take. I'd like to consider the same thing. Let me just paste it here. Instead of compiler, I will just tell this happens to be interpreter. Interpreter is also a system software which converts, this is system, SYSTM, system software which converts high level language code into machine level language code. Do you think in a single shot or what? Do you think in a single shot or what? Very good. Into machine level language code by line, machine level language code, line by line, by executing line by line, Is there any doubt for anyone with respect to compiler and interpreter, all those things? What you're supposed to do, if you ask me, please leave sufficient amount of space. You can just take the heading in your notes. As already I have told, please keep 200 pages, or better if you keep 300 pages, unruled long notebook. And whenever you're writing the notes, please give importance to your notes. Only once in your lifetime will be writing the Python notes. Again and again, if I tell also, you will not write. Correct, right? Once in the pressure, if you write the proper notes, whenever there is an interview, assume that tomorrow if there is an interview, you'll be in the safe zone. Easily you can revise. Is that clear? And while writing the notes, maintain a proper notes by writing the things in different color pens, or by writing some diagrams properly, all those things. Just take the heading as conversion of high level language into machine level language. You can just take the screenshot of this one. Just take the screenshot of this. Leave sufficient amount of space for a diagram. I will just show you how much amount of space you're supposed to leave. I would like to display the whiteboard, that is diagram. Take the screenshot or picture of this diagram. I will give 10 seconds of time to take the screenshot or picture. Please be very quick. Okay, if you're done by taking the screenshot, please do respond in the chat box. Sir, the reason behind C language to be in the high speed. Yes, I will tell. That is my next topic. 100% I will tell why C language is very fast. When compared to other programming language, C is relatively fast. Okay, see here. I would like to consider the next thing. Okay, the next heading happens to be very simple. Evolution of high level programming language. Evolution of high level programming language. Sir, what do you mean by evolution of high level programming language? What do you mean by evolution? Technical meaning of evolution means what? Evolution means what? Change, drastic change, or something got changed in the IT industry while writing the code. That is the reason the heading happens to what? Evolution of high level programming language. From 1960s, everyone got shifted into what? Writing the code in high level language. But in case of high level language, how the evolution happened, if you ask me, I would like to open the whiteboard. Initially, Please respond, guys. If you're responding, then I can just teach in the proper way. That means on normal flow will be there. If not, it will be very difficult in the online classes. If it is offline classes, I could have taken the proper interaction. But in online classes, until you respond, 100% the class will be like a boring class. That is the reason I'm repeatedly telling. Assume that you are a developer. From 1960s we will take. Is that fine? From 1960s only we will take. Assume that if you are a developer in 1960s, something they have invented called as what? High level programming language. And next, using that high level programming language, assume that if someone is giving the task to perform addition, to perform subtraction, to perform multiplication, to perform division, how they used to write the code? If you ask me, like this they used to write the code. Let me just consider this one. Assume that this happens to be the complete program. Within this complete program, what they're supposed to write? If you ask me, I will just tell like this. As a developer, in order to perform the task for addition, what they will do? They will create one function. Maybe they will just create a file. They will just name that file. Maybe the name of the file happens to be add. They will tell. Within this add, piece of code will be available. I'll just tell this happens to be the piece of code in order to perform the addition operation. Assume that if anyone is telling to perform subtraction activities, it is very simple. What they will do, they will just create one more file and they'll be giving the name for the file. Maybe the name for the file happens to be sub. I will just tell this happens to be sub. I will tell within this sub, what they used to write, they used to write the code for subtraction. They used to write the code for subtraction. Similarly, if they want to perform multiplication, what they will do, they will just write the piece of code. If they want to perform division, they'll be writing the piece of code. I'll just tell this happens to be the name that will be given by the developer. This is multiplication means mul. This happens to be division, that is div. Within this mul and div, the piece of code will be available. That means the code will be available. Next, you have to understand this very carefully. In 1960s, in the initial days, I'm telling, when they invented high-level programming language, listen carefully and just tell me the answer for this one. Again, if they want to perform, addition, do you think they can reuse the code? Again, if they want to perform addition, do you think they can reuse the code? In 1960s, initially when they used to write the code, do you think it is possible to use this code? 100% no. They cannot use that code, whatever they have written. Sir, why, sir? Why? I will tell. Again, they have to write the piece of code for addition. That means in order to perform the same task, they have to write once again. Don't you think? In order to perform something again and again, if you are writing the same old shit, you will be getting frustrated. Yes or no? Forget about a developer. As a human being, you'll be getting frustrated. If your college lecturers are telling like this, write that assignment 2 times, 3 times. Seriously, I don't know why they'll give the assignment to write for 5 times, 6 times and all. As a student, do you think you'll be writing with the complete focus? 100% no. Simply you'll be writing the things, correct, right? In our college days or in our school days, they would have told, write this assignment 2 times, 3 times. Similarly, in order, instead of that, we can just take the Xerox, right? Write one time, you can just take the Xerox. I'm just kidding, that's all. Next, again, if they want to write the code for subtraction, they cannot reuse this code. Rather, they have to write the piece of code for subtraction. I'll just consider this happens to be the subtraction code. Again, they're supposed to write the code. Now think and answer, what is the style of writing the program in this style? Right now, whatever the style I have told, that means if you're writing the piece of code, addition again, subtraction again, what kind of programming language it is? Although it might be a high level programming language, but what is the style? What is the style of writing this code? Anyone aware of these things? Very good. This style is only technically called as what? Unstructured programming language. Some of them are telling assembly level. No. Don't feel, guys, if I'm writing add sub mul div add sub, that is not the mnemonics. I'm just giving the name. Instead of add, you can just take addition. I'm a very lazy person. Instead of writing addition, I have just written add. That's all. It doesn't mean that this is the assembly level language code. No, 100% no. It is a high level language code itself. But I have just given the file name. File name happens to be add sub. You can just take addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, anything as such. If you are writing the piece of code repeatedly in this style, technically that is called as what? Unstructured programming language. I'll just tell that happens to be unstructured programming language. Why? Because there is no proper structure. Unstructured programming language. Is that clear? Guys, in the interview, if they're asking what do you mean by unstructured programming language, writing the piece of code repeatedly without using that code. That means, do you think, is there any reusability of the code? Yes or no? How many of them will tell, sir, there is a reusability of the code? Yes or no? If you consider this unstructured programming language, do you think reusability is there? 100%? No, 100% we cannot reuse the code. That is the reason I'll just tell no reusability. No reusability of the code. We cannot reuse the code. If you're not able to reuse the code, don't you think it is very big disadvantage? No reusability of the code. And one more thing you have to observe, don't you think it is very difficult in order to remember all those things? That is the reason I will just tell this happens to be the complex process. That means again and again I have to write. That is the reason when it comes to unstructured style of writing, no reusability, and it is a very complex code. That is the reason as a developer, as days progressed, how they used to write the code, if you ask me, like this they used to write the code. Listen carefully. Initially as a developer, they used to write the code in what? Unstructured style of programming, that is unstructured programming language. As days progressed, instead of writing the code in this manner, what they have done, if there is any task that has to be performed for addition, like this they will consider. Everyone please observe properly. Let me just consider this one. Okay. If there is any task to perform addition, they will write the piece of code like this. This happens to be the piece of code for addition. Let me just consider this happens to be the addition. If they want to perform subtraction, they will consider the piece of code like this. If they want to perform multiplication, they'll consider the piece of code like this. If they want to perform division, they'll consider the piece of code like this. Right now, whatever the piece of code I have written, that is a separated data. I'll just tell this happens to be add, or I will just tell subprogram. They'll be naming this as P1. Again, if I write add, some of them might be filling it as mnemonics. You can just consider program 1, program 2. This is program 1, this is program 2, this is program number 3, this is program number 4, that is P4. Please tell me, what is the duty of program number 1? Why this program number 1 will be used? What is the main purpose of using program number 1? Don't you think P1 or program number 1 is used to perform addition? That is the reason they will store that piece of code, whatever the piece of code will be there, right? That piece of code will be written within this add function. They will consider one format. That format is only referred as what? Function. I'll just tell this happens to be the add function. Within this add function, they'll be writing that piece of code. Similarly, if they want to perform subtraction, what they will do, they'll create sub function. Within that sub, they'll be writing that logic, whatever the logic I have told, that logic will be written by the developer within that sub function. Same thing applicable for multiplication also. I will just tell this happens to be mul function. Within that function, they'll be writing that piece of code, whatever I have told. This happens to be the piece of code for multiplication. Same thing will be applicable for what? Division as well. I will consider this happens to be the division. Within this division, what they will do, they'll be writing the piece of code. Initially, whatever the piece of code they used to write. So here, this piece of code will be written as what? Programs, that is subprogram. Technically, whatever I have written, P1, P2, P3, P4, these things are technically referred as what? Some of them might be calling it as functions, or some of them might be calling it as subprograms, or some of them might be calling it as procedures. Some of them might be calling it as what? Procedures. Right now, what functions, subprograms, or procedures. Sir, why it will be used? As a developer, they'll be ready with addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. In future, if someone wants to perform addition, what they will do? They will not use this one directly. Rather, what is going to happen? They will consider on main function. Like this, they will consider on main function. Assume that this happens to be the main function. Within this main function, what they're going to do? Listen carefully, guys. This happens to be the main function. I'll just tell this is main function. They will create on main function. This is what you have done in your C, correct, right? Within this main function, if someone wants to perform addition, they will just call that function called as add. If they want to perform subtraction, they will call the function called as sub. If they want to perform multiplication, they will call mul. If they want to perform div, they will call div. If they want to perform again addition, do you think again they're supposed to write the piece of code? It is not necessary. Already the piece of code is available here. Simply you just call the function. Automatically you'll be getting the addition operation. Again, if you want to perform subtraction, again you need not to write the piece of code. Directly you can just use the piece of code already which you have written in the subprogram. Like this they will develop, or like this they invented some the style, that is the style of the programming language. Right now, guys, it is very simple. If they want to perform addition, what is going to happen? They will take this P1, they will use it here. And if they want to perform subtraction, what is going to happen? They will take this P2 and they will just use it here. If they want to perform multiplication, they will just take this piece of code they'll be using for multiplication. If they want to perform division, they will use that. Again, if they want to perform addition, what is going to happen? Don't you think again they can use this piece of code? I'll be writing this in a different color so that you'll be getting the clarity. Again, this P1 will be taken. They'll make use it here. If they want to perform subtraction, they will use like this. That means they'll just call this function. Right now, what kind of style is this? Anyone please tell me? If you are writing the program in this style, what is that style? Technically, what is that style called as? Oh, very good. That style is only called as what? Structured programming language. I would like to write this happens to be the structured programming language. Structured programming language. Right now, can you just give me the example for structured programming language? Anyone? Can you just give me the example for structured programming language? One example, that's all. Very good. C programming language. Yeah, correct. Some of them are telling Java. Java is a structured programming language, but initially when they invented, that is not the main reason. I can just take C happens to be the structured programming language. Next, when it comes to unstructured programming language, can you just give me some example? Anyone? If you are aware of unstructured programming language, C is not unstructured. C is a structured programming language. Anyone having the clarity about unstructured programming language? Very good, correct. And very good, yes. And which was the first unstructured programming language? Which was the first unstructured programming language? Fortran Basic. Fortran Basic happens to be the first unstructured programming language. That's the reason I would like to consider. There are plenty of unstructured programming language, but I would like to consider this one. This is Fortran Basic, I will tell. It's unstructured programming language. When it comes to C, it's a structured programming language. Similarly, please tell me, what are the advantages of structured programming language? Please tell me what are the advantages. Do you think reusability is there? Yes or no? Don't you think reusability of the code is available? I'll just tell this happens to be reusability of the code. Reusability. And do you think it is complex or simple? Do you think it is complex or simple? Very good, it is simple. I'll just tell simple. These are the points that should be there in your mind when it comes to the advantages. I will just put it within a box. Simple and reusability is there. When it comes to here, no reusability and complex. And think and answer. These are the disadvantage. These are the disadvantage of this Fortran Basic, that is unstructured programming language. That is the reason they have invented something called as what? Structured style of programming language. Right now, is there any disadvantage with respect to structured programming language? If you ask me, 100% yes, there is a disadvantage with respect to structured programming language. What is the disadvantage? If you ask me, structured programming language is not secured. Structured programming language is not secured. Sir, what do you mean by that, sir? Not secured. Not secured means, just listen carefully. I will just give you the clarity about what do you mean by not secured. Don't you think if there is any variable that has to be declared, I can just declare the variable like this within this main function. If I'm declaring the variable, assume that the variable happens to be a and b, which is of type integer. If I consider int a and b, don't you think this a and b can be accessible by p1, p2, p3, p4? Yes or no? Whatever the a and b is there, this a and b can be accessible by p1, and this a and b can be accessible by p2, p3, p4. That means I cannot provide the security for the data. If there is any data present only for the main function, I cannot provide the security. How many of them will agree with my point? When it comes to C, if you are having the basic knowledge of C, you will tell it is not secured. Why? Because we cannot store the data. We cannot provide the security for the data. Yes or no? Yes, 100% yes. This is what the style when it comes to structured programming language. That is the reason they got frustrated with respect to structured programming language. Later, they came up with a new ideology. What is that ideology? If you ask me, I will just tell what is that ideology. Just listen carefully. Just tell this happens to be the structured programming language. After that structured programming language, they have invented something in order to provide the security. Initially, when they invented this programming language, whatever the style, their only mindset happens to be to provide the security. Already structured programming language is there which can reuse the code, which is very simple. They have to keep these two things in their mind, and they have to give what? Security. That is the reason I will just tell like this. Guys, when it comes to structured programming language, it is not secured. That means if there is any data within this main function, technically this variable is only referred as global variable. I'll just tell this happens to be the global variable. If it is global variable, don't you think this variable can be accessed by this P1, P2, P3, P4? Yes or no? But I don't want that to happen. Why? Because I should provide the security, correct, right? If I want to provide the security, what I should do? What I should do, if you ask me, I will just tell like this. Okay, if you want to perform addition, you just create addition. If you want to perform addition operation, yes, well and good, you can just create addition operation like this. I'll just tell this happens to be the addition operation. If you want to perform subtraction, you can just perform subtraction. If you want to perform multiplication, you can just perform multiplication. But listen carefully. If you feel like I will be giving the access for this, whatever the variable I told, that is integer a comma b, fine, or the variable a comma b, it's a global variable. Right now, if I want to give the access of this variable called as a and b for only these functions, that is add function, assume this happens to be the add function. If I just want to provide the access for add function, then what I will do, I will just place this add function here. Sir, where you will place? I will tell where I will place. Next, if I want to give the access for only sub function, I'll just consider this sub function. Whatever the sub function is there, I'm just taking the sub function. Guys, please understand carefully. I will take this sub function. I will take this add function. Next, what about the remaining functions? Remaining, how many functions are there? I'll just consider this happens to be the mul function. This happens to be the div function. This is mul and this is div. Let me just consider this mul and div properly. Okay. Yeah, this is multiplication function, that is mul function. I will tell this is mul function. Within this mul function, the piece of code will be available. Already you are aware of all those things. Next, I would like to consider this happens to be division, that is div function. Within this div function, I would like to write the logic. Right now, if you feel like I have to provide the access means correct, right? I have to provide the access for addition function as well as subtraction function for this variable called as a and b. Then what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to create the object. Within that object, you're supposed to declare the variable. Within that object, you're supposed to declare the function. Then, do you think these two things can access this variable? If the data is available within the object, I will just tell this happens to be the object. Technically, this is called as object. If you're placing the data within the object, do you think this div function as well as mul function can access this variable? 100% no. It cannot access those things. Mul function and div function cannot access this variable. Sir, who can access this variable? Who can access this variable? Addition function can access, subtraction function will access. Why? Because I have placed those two functions within the object. Right now, please think and answer. When it comes to the style of writing, whatever the style I have done, don't you think code reusability will be there? We can just reuse the code. I'll just tell reusability. Reusability is there, as well as it is very simple, as well as it is secured. It is secured. You can just tell these 3 points, yes or no. You can just tell these 3 points when it comes to this one. Right now, just think and answer. What kind of style is this? If they're writing or if they're creating the object and if they're creating the function within the object, if they're making the variable private and if they're giving the proper access, then this style of writing is only technically referred as object oriented programming language. Object oriented programming language. Can you just give me the best example for object oriented programming language? Anyone? Very good. Java is object oriented programming language. Python is object oriented programming language. Next, maybe from C, if you take, which was the next object oriented programming language? Which was the first object oriented programming language which got invented? I think if you had attended yesterday's Java class, Sagar would have told which was the first object oriented programming language. If your answer is C++, wrong. Which was the first object oriented programming language? Let's think and answer. If you want to get to know which was the first object oriented programming language, Simula. It is not Java, it is not Python. Simula. Simula happens to be the first object-oriented programming language. I don't know why people are telling C. C is not an object-oriented programming language, my dear. Next, see here. I will just consider this happens to be the C++. I will take. Do you think C++ is an object-oriented programming language? Yes or no? C++ is an object-oriented programming language. Yes or no? 100% yes. C++ is the object-oriented programming language. I have just taken the example. That's all. Right now, think and answer. Is there any disadvantage with respect to C++? There is no disadvantage with respect to object-oriented programming language. But is there any disadvantage with respect to C++? Yes or no? What is the disadvantage? What is the disadvantage with respect to C++? Sir, everything is an advantage only, sir. Reusability is there, simple, secured. But what is the disadvantage? The main disadvantage, forget about inheritance and all. The main disadvantage of C++ is what? Very good. The main disadvantage of C++, if you take, I'll just tell this happens to be C++. If you consider C++, C++ is platform dependent or independent? C++ is platform dependent or independent? Very good. C++ is platform dependent. Sir, what do you mean by this platform dependent, or what do you mean by this platform independent? That is my next topic. That was the biggest disadvantage with respect to C++. Because of this, they stopped using C++. Because of this platform dependent, they stopped using C++. But currently C++ is used because of various reasons. I will tell that also. But is there any doubt for anyone? Guys, my main intention is not to explain the disadvantage or advantage. My main focus is to explain the evolution of programming language. Initially, they have invented something called as what? Unstructured programming language. Later, they have invented something called as what? Structured programming language. Next, they have invented what? Object-oriented programming language. Next, I will speak. The next topic of happens to be what? Platform dependent and platform independent. I will speak and I will be giving the complete clarity about those things. Is there any doubt with respect to these things? Just take 10 to 15 seconds and go through whatever I have written. And please take the screenshot in a very quick manner. Just take the screenshot and I will give 15 seconds of time. Just try to recollect whatever the thing I have told. Okay, guys, is that done by taking the screenshot? If you're done, I'll just proceed. After the class itself, you're supposed to update the notes. This happens to be a demo class. That's the reason I cannot wait until you write the diagram. I know if I give the chance to write the diagram, it will take 20 minutes. That is the reason. How you should write the notes, if you ask me, like this, you're supposed to write the notes. You can just take the heading as evolution of high-level programming language. Below that, no need to write any definition or such. You just write the diagram, whatever the diagram I have written, right? You just write the diagram. Is that clear for everyone? Next, what should be the next topic? Just now I told. What should be the next topic, which is very interesting? Guys, please tell me what is the next topic? Very good. The next topic happens to be platform dependent. Okay, sir, what do you mean by this platform dependent? Listen carefully. What do you mean by platform dependent? It is very easy for me to explain, provided if you participate and if you're trying to understand in a proper way. Right now, simple question I'll be asking. If you try to answer this simple question, that is very easy for me to explain. I will just consider he is the developer. I'll just tell he is the person on who will be acting as a developer. As a developer, what is the duty of his developer? Don't you think the duty of this developer is to write the logic or write the code? Right now, in which style they used to write the code? In which style they used to write the code? Don't you think they used to write the code either in structured programming language or in object oriented style? Yes or no? Either in structured or object oriented. But ultimately, those two things are what? High level language code. Yes or no? Those two things are referred as what? High level language code. Right now, what I will just consider this happens to be the high level language code. This is the high level language code. I will just tell this happens to be the high level language code. Whatever the high level language code is there, I want the guidance from your end. What is the one more name for high level language code? Or if the developer is writing that code, technically what is the code called as? If the developer is writing the code, what is the code called as? Very good. It is called as source code. Already I have written the diagram. I want you to tell the answer. Very good. It is called as source code. Next, as a developer, they'll be writing what? This high level language code or source code. Next, I will consider this language happens to be C++. I will take. I'll just take this happens to be C++. If it is C++ or anything, high level language code has to be converted into what? Machine level language code. Why? Because ultimately microprocessor will understand machine level language code. In order to convert the high level language code, which software is used? I will give the hint. One software which will convert in a single shot. What is that software name? One software which will convert the high level language code in a single shot. It is compiler. I'll just tell that happens to be compiler. All right, now already you're aware of what is the duty of compiler. The duty of compiler is to take the high level language code and do you think it will produce the machine level language code in a single shot or line by line? Please be very quick in telling the answer. In a single shot or line by line? Very good. In a single shot, it will produce the machine level language code. I'll just tell this happens to be the machine level language code. Let me just consider this one. I'll just tell 1010. Simply I'm writing, that's all. 0011, 0101. Next, what is the one more name for machine level language code? Yeah, this is machine level language code. I will agree with your point. What is the one more name for machine level language code? Very good. Machine level language code, or I can just tell binary code. I can just call it as binary code. Is there any doubt for anyone with respect to this one till here? Okay, I think you'll not be having any doubt. Why? Because already I have explained. Next, listen carefully. This machine level language code has to be loaded on the RAM. I'll just take this happens to be the RAM of the computer. Within the RAM, it has to be loaded. I'll just tell within this RAM, this happens to be the machine level language code. I'll just tell this happens to be 1010, 0011, 0101. Next, listen properly. If this particular machine level language code has to be loaded on the RAM, one software is used. What is the name of the software? Don't you think the name of the software happens to be loader software? I will just consider this happens to be loader software. This loader software is responsible to load that machine level language code on the RAM. I will just consider this happens to be the RAM of the computer. This happens to be the machine level language code. If this machine level language code is provided to a software called as microprocessor, don't you think ultimately I'll be getting the output? I will just tell this happens to be the microprocessor. Microprocessor will understand only zeros and ones. I'll just tell zeros and ones. Let me just tell this happens to be the microprocessor. To this microprocessor, if you're providing the input as zeros and ones, ultimately you can expect the proper output. I will just tell this happens to be the output. Till here, is there any doubt for anyone? As this is very simple, right? Till here, is there any doubt? Right now, try to understand what is that platform dependent and what is that platform independent. I will tell. Let me just consider this happens to be the complete box. Maybe within one box I will write. He is the developer. Yeah, fine. As a developer, his duty is to write the what? Code. Okay, great. Now listen carefully. I will just consider this happens to be one computer. Whatever I have written, a very big box. This is one computer. Okay, sir. Computer means what? What is very important if you take computer? Let's please think and answer. Computer means what? Platform. I'll just tell this happens to be computer number one. Let me just consider this happens to be computer number one. Computer number one. In computer, what is very important? Don't you think platform is very important? I don't know how many of them are aware of platform. What do you mean by platform? Platform is a combination of hardware and software. Yes or no? In simple words, if I have to tell, platform is a combination of hardware plus software. Very good. Right now, in this computer, which is the hardware component? Which is the hardware component? I don't think microprocessor is the hardware component. So many hardware component will be there, but which is the very important hardware component? Microprocessor. That is technically a processor. And next, when it comes to software, assume that this particular computer is using Windows operating system. I think everyone are aware of Windows operating system. Guys, everyone are aware of operating system, that is Windows operating system. That is the reason I'm taking that one. I'll just tell this happens to be Windows operating system. Whatever the software they're using, Windows operating system, I will just tell this happens to be the software that they're using. If I write SW, is that fine? Yeah, like Windows is there, Macintosh, everything is there. I will consider Windows operating system. That is a software. It is a combination of hardware and software. Right now, think and answer. This is computer number one. Similarly, what I will do, I will just consider this happens to be computer number two. I will take. Assume that this happens to be computer number two. Next, similarly, this happens to be the computer number three. I will take. Next, this happens to be the computer number four. I will take. Let me just write. This is computer number one. This is computer number one. Sorry, number two. Computer number two. Next, this happens to be computer number three. Guys, no one I'm telling I'm very weak in writing the diagrams. I'm just giving my best to write the diagram when it comes to online class. Computer 4. Next, listen carefully. In this computer 2, don't you think here also hardware and software will be there? Yes or no? If you take any computer, platform will be there. I will just take microprocessor will be there in this computer also. Let me just tell this happens to be the microprocessor. This happens to be the microprocessor I will take. Let me consider properly. This is microprocessor. This is microprocessor. This is microprocessor. Hardware is done. Next, don't you think software also should be there with respect to this computer? Yes or no? How many of them will agree with my point? Along with the hardware component, software is also compulsory. Okay, sir, what kind of software they're using? If you consider computer number two, if you consider this computer number two, we're using, tell me some operating system, other operating system. Okay, let me just consider initially, I will just take Windows itself. Next, Windows operating system. Next, what about the computer three? Okay, we'll just take Linux operating system. Next, a DOS operating system. Okay, I can consider. And if you are a Apple user, what kind of operating system they'll use? Very good. Macintosh, that is Macintosh operating system. Assume that in computer 2, Windows operating system, computer 3, Linux operating system, computer 4, Macintosh operating system. Now you have to understand carefully, guys. Please listen carefully. Right now, this is microprocessor. I think I need not to write a microprocessor. It's okay. If you want, I can just write. This is a microprocessor. That is MP. I will tell. This is microprocessor. This is just microprocessor. This is also a microprocessor. I will tell. This is microprocessor. Next, listen carefully. As a developer, you'll be writing your piece of code and you're getting the output on computer one. Do you think as a developer, you have to execute that code on your own only in your laptop or in your desktop? 100% no, right? Whatever the code you have written, don't you think that code has to be used by each and every end user? Right now, if Mark Zuckerberg would have told like this, I have written the code for Facebook, I will only be having the Facebook account. Do you think like that he had told? 100% no. Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, or Gmail, whatever they have written. Don't you think you are also using that code? Yes or no? In your computer also it is working fine. In your mobile also it is working fine. That means as a developer, if you're writing any program, or if you're developing any application, or if you're developing any project, make sure that it will be accessible by each and every end user. In such a way I have to develop. Okay, sir, what happened with respect to C++? If you ask me, please tell me, microprocessor. For this microprocessor available within computer 2, what is required in order to get the output? Assume that if you want to get the output, what is required? Please tell me the answer. In order to get the output, what is required? In order to get the output from this computer, what is required? We'll see how many of them will tell the correct answer. Very good. In order to get the output, don't you think you need not to send your high level language code, or you need not to send the source code? If you are sending the source code, you're a very big fool. Do you think Mark Zuckerberg would have given the source code for anyone? Guys, do you think Mark Zuckerberg would have given the source code? No, 100% no. Who will give the source code? Listen carefully. You should not give the source code as a developer if you're developing the code using C++. Rather, this machine level language code has to be provided. Yes or no? Why? Because this microprocessor will understand what? Machine level language code. That is the reason I will just tell like this. Whenever you're sending, you should not send your high level language code. Rather, whatever the machine level language code is there, this machine level language code has to be sent here. Yes or no? Next, this machine level language code has to be sent here. Next, this machine level language code has to be sent here. I will just tell here the machine level language code is available. Whatever the machine level language code, let me just tell this happens to be the machine level language code. Listen, I will tell this happens to be the machine level language code. In technical terms, I can just tell this happens to be MLL. I will tell MLL means machine level language code. This is MLL. This is MLL. Later, that machine level language code will be taken by the loader. It will be loaded on the RAM, and later we'll be getting the output. Right now, think and answer. I want everyone to think. In which platform the source code is generated? In which platform the source code is generated? Source code means in which platform the machine level language code is generated? In microprocessor, that is the hardware. And what about the operating system? Don't you think the operating system is Windows operating system? That means whatever the machine level language code is there, right? That is platform dependent. Platform dependent means very simple. Listen carefully the definition of platform dependent. It's a program. That is, if a program is compiled in one operating system, then it has to be executed in the same operating system. You cannot execute in the different operating system. That means if you're generating this machine level language code using Windows operating system, means you have to execute that piece of code only using Windows operating system. That means only you'll be getting the output in computer 2. Do you think you'll be getting the output in computer 3? Although you'll be providing the machine level language code, do you think you'll be getting the output in computer 3? 100% no. Sir, why I'll not be getting the output? Why? Because there is a mismatch in the platform. There is a mismatch in the operating system. Windows Linux will not match. Windows Macintosh will not match. That is the reason you'll not be getting the output. But when it comes to computer 2, do you think you'll be getting the output in computer 2? Yes or no? I want the answer from your end. Do you think you'll be getting the output? 100% you'll be getting the output when it comes to computer 2. Why? Because there is a match with respect to the operating system. See here, there is a match with respect to the operating system. Right now, think and answer. Just now I have told one term. Machine level language code. I'll just tell machine level language is platform dependent or platform independent. You just tell me the answer for this one. Machine level language code, irrespective of the language, machine level language code is platform dependent or independent? Dependent means Windows should match. That is the same operating system you should use. Very good. I will just tell it is platform dependent. It is platform dependent. Similarly, whatever the language you have learned, maybe if you would have heard C++, if you consider C++, do you think C++ is platform independent or platform dependent? Now tell me the answer. C++ is platform independent or dependent? Very good. It is platform dependent. I'll just tell it is platform dependent. Not only C++, C programming language, if you consider C or if you consider C++, both are what? Platform dependent programming language. How many of them understood what do you mean by platform dependent? Please tell me how many of them understood what do you mean by platform dependent? Do you think here you will be getting the output? With respect to this computer 3, you will be getting the output? 100% no, you will not be getting the output. That is the reason I'll just tell no output. When it comes to computer 4 also, you will not be getting the output. Why? Because there is a mismatch in the platform. Don't you think it's a very big disadvantage as a developer or as an end user if you are using any application? Do you think platform dependent is an advantage or disadvantage? Tell me the answer. No, guys, 100% is a disadvantage, right? Why? Because whatever the program you have developed, it cannot be used by others. Guys, you cannot tell like this. If you're joining any company, in my laptop, the output is coming. In your laptop, the output will not come. I will not give the source code. If you want to execute, come here, stand in front of my laptop, execute, see the output, go back. Like this, if you're telling, next day itself, they'll kick you out of your company. That is the reason I'm telling. If you're writing any piece of code, make sure that it will be accessible by plenty of users. Then only will be valued more in that company. Yes or no? 100% yes. Is there any doubt for anyone with respect to platform dependent? Okay, very good. Right now, what you're supposed to do, if I will just tell the heading happens to be platform dependent. I will tell platform dependent. Just increase the font size. This is platform dependent. Okay, great. Guys, is that visible? I think in your mobile you can just zoom, or you can just minimize. You can just do whatever you want if you want to take the screenshot afterwards. That is the reason, preferably, what I will tell. As a student, everyone will be having the laptop, or worst case, will be having the desktop. Guys, better please invest on yourself. If you're listening the class by plugging on the earphone in laptop, it is a different thing. You'll be getting the complete clarity. No, sir, I will watch by using mobile. I know at 9 o'clock or 8:30 where you'll be there. I think 80% of them, 80% of them, if I'm not wrong, don't you think still you'll be on your bed, covering that blanket, putting that earphone, however you want, you will be listening the class. Let's have some discipline. Do you think same thing you can do in the offline class? Sleep and listen to the class. Guys, you'll not be getting that interest. No one I'm telling. How exactly you will respect that language? How exactly you will respect Python? You will be getting the respect from Python. If you are not showing the respect in order to learn that 100% in couple of days, if you're not getting the job, then you'll be getting the huge respect from that language. No one I'm telling. Please don't take it in a different way. Guys, it is very simple. If you're doing the right things will happen. If you're not doing the right things, 100%, if you stand ulta also, right things will not happen. Guys, I'm not saying don't enjoy your life. Really, who am I to tell don't enjoy your life? Enjoy your life. I'm not anyone to tell that. But play PUBG. But right now PUBG is banned. If you want to go outside, go outside. If you want to do party, do party. If you want to enjoy with your friend, enjoy. There is only one life. Enjoy this life like anything. But ultimately, at the end of the day, just remember whatever your roles and responsibility in your life, and please take care of your parents. Why? Because I think everyone are in the 23, 24 years old till 23 years. Daily you'll be asking the money from your parents. Guys, trust me, once you're done with your engineering, if you are asking money from your parents, it's like a slap on your face. No, I'm telling. They will not give the slap. You have to slap on your own face if you're asking the money after completing engineering. That is the reason. Soon after you complete the engineering, or soon after this lockdown, or else soon after this pandemic. Guys, do you think after 2 years also Corona will be there? How many of them will tell? After 2 years, after 3 years, Corona will be there? 100% no, correct, right? Maybe within 6 months or within 1 year, they'll be finding the vaccination or the medicine. I think right now, if you just look at Bangalore or Mysore, almost 50% of the fear what we had initially, it is getting reduced, correct? No? Everything is getting as normal. That is the reason after this pandemic, if you're not equipped yourself with the proper knowledge, 100% you'll suffer like anything, guys. You'll stand in front of the IT company by requesting the watchman. To be frank, these things will happen. If you don't want these things to be happening in this pandemic without wasting the time, waste your time. But at least 2 hours you just dedicate for yourself. Morning 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Whatever I have done, evening if there is any time, if you find any time, please revise the topic for about 10 to 15 minutes. That's all. Is that clear for everyone? Guys, do you think it's a very difficult task in order to attend 1.5 hour class? Okay, listen carefully. Let me just open the notes. I would like to open the notes. Everyone just take the heading as platform dependent. Below that platform dependent, you're supposed to take the screenshot of the diagram. After the diagram, I'll be writing the notes for that. Okay, sir, what is the notes? I will just tell if a program is compiled, if a program is compiled in one operating system, if a program is compiled in one operating system and if it is executed only in same operating system, I'm writing OS. Operating system is what? OS. In same operating system, then it is referred as platform dependent. Then it is referred as platform dependent programming language. Platform dependent programming language. Can you just give me some example for platform dependent programming language? Just now I have told. Can you just give me the example? Please be very quick in telling the example. C, or you can just tell it as C++. Okay, sir, this is disadvantage. What about the advantage? I will tell what do you mean by platform independent. Don't worry about that right now. How many of them are having the clarity about why you're attending the class and what kind of topics I will teach? How many of them are having the clarity? Please tell me. That means today, if you're attending Python class, I think everyone would have gone through the brochure. Guys, yes or no? Everyone would have gone through the brochure. Yes or no? Brochure means whatever the topic I will do. Guys, this is what the students have to observe when it comes to online domain or when it comes to any institute as such. Some of the institute, what they will do, they are only not having the clarity about what they will teach. That is the reason, guys, in many of the offline platform or online platform, do you think they'll provide the brochure? 100% no, correct, right? Why? Because they'll not be having the clarity about what kind of topics they will deliver and what kind of projects they will do, correct, right? But when it comes to my style of teaching, I know what I will be doing from end to end, that too in detail. That is the reason you can just go through the brochure. Guys, I'll bet you I have seen this education industry from the close view. That is the reason I'm telling all these things. They will just tell Python course for 1 month. Seriously, I get very frustrated by seeing all those gimmicks. Some of the students will also fall into the trap. What they will tell, they will teach Python in 1 month. Do you think Python can be taught in 1 month? How many of them will agree with my point? Is that possible to teach complete Python in 1 month? If they're telling they will teach complete Python in 1 month, bloody tell them to release the poster, tell them to release the brochure, tell them to release the content, whatever they'll be doing. Guys, 100% no one can teach Python in 1 month. And no one, I'm not telling no one can learn. You can learn if you're having the complete dedication. If you're having maybe 10 hours a day, you can learn Python. But no one can teach Python in 1 month. And that is the reason I'm telling, in order to complete this course, it will take 3 months. That means the complete Python. And I have given the complete brochure for you guys. Please go through the brochure. Each and every topic will be done in detail. And if you're getting any doubts, it's a live class. It's not a recorded class. You can just ask the doubt in the chat box. You can just respond in the chat box. And what if some of the students will be having this doubt? Sir, what if I miss the class because of some emergency or college class, blah, 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 all those things. I will be giving the recorded session. This session has been recorded. I will give this recorded session on a daily basis for your mail ID. Will that be fine? If you're joining the course, 100% I'll be giving the recordings on a daily basis. But preferably, if you ask me, please don't watch the recording on a daily basis. Please try to attend the live classes. Guys, don't you think attending the live classes is different and seeing the recording is different? As very best example, assume that today IPL match is there, RCB and Chennai. Don't you think watching that live match is very interesting? Correct, right? Instead of watching that match in the highlights, maybe in tomorrow's days, it will be very better if you watch the match or classes in the live. That is the reason I came up with this live classes. Guys, do you think it is very difficult for me to record the session in a very better way by using the proper things, by writing the very good diagram, all those things? Yes, all that I can do. Here also I'm doing the same thing. Seriously, I don't like that recorded videos and all. Preferably as a student, like how exactly you'll attend the offline classes, I want you to be attending the online classes. Is that fine? And one more thing I have told, listen carefully. Tomorrow also the credentials would remain the same. Tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, the credentials would remain same. Why? Because some of them are asking, sir, give us some time to pay the fee. It's okay, fine. You can just take your time. But today happens to be the That means already in yesterday, some of the students got admitted. And if you want to do your admission, already I have told how to do your admission and what are the process, what is the course fee, everything I have told. Still, if you want the clarity, you can just contact me. Already I have told my phone number. My number happens to be 8553531326. You can just contact me to this number. Fine, please contact me if you're having any queries. And you can just take the screenshot of this one. Where is that fee? Okay. Whenever you're doing the payment, make sure that you'll be doing the payment for this one, guys. And one more very important thing, after doing the payment, we'll be giving you the receipt of that particular payment within 3 to 5 days. And after completing the course, we'll be providing the certificate. And one more thing, I'm least bothered about your attendance. I'll be not taking your attendance. Sir, why you'll not take your attendance? You're not LKG or UKG kids, correct, right? On your own interest, you have joined the course. If you're having the interest, you'll attend the class. That is the reason initial 3 to 4 days of demo class is given. Initially, I thought of giving 3 free demo classes. It's okay, fine. I will give tomorrow and day after tomorrow in order to pay the fee. Fine. Ultimately, I'll not change the credentials of Zoom. You can just attend today and tomorrow, that is tomorrow and day after tomorrow class. But from Monday, if you want to attend the class, make sure that your payments are done. And if you want to pay the amount in the installment, please contact me. I will just insist you how to pay the amount, all those things. But better if you pay the amount in a single shot. Is that fine? Yes, is that clear for anyone? That is everyone. And one more thing I just wanted to ask. Have I given the clarity about Python, Django, REST API, all those things? Have I given the clarity? I don't know. In day 1 or day 2, have I given the clarity? Okay, if I have given, well, fine. You can just take the screenshot of this one. That is platform dependent. Please be very quick in taking the screenshot. Guys, and one more thing, if you're taking Python, already I have told the course fees is not 5,000, 4,000 you're supposed to pay. If you're taking the complete Python, Django, REST API, you're supposed to pay how much? Please tell me if you're taking the complete Python, Django, REST API, along with that, we'll be teaching 2 projects, that is 8,000. That's what, guys. Sir, why project? Already our college lecturers or teachers are giving frustration by doing that project and all. Guys, please don't take it as a frustrated data. Fine. That project, whatever you will do, that plays a vital role. But I know that whatever the college projects you will be doing, you'll be purchasing that project. Yes or no? Guys, if I'm not wrong, please tell me. Out of 10, 9 people will purchase their college project. Yes or no? Whatever the project that you will do, you'll purchase that project. But I don't want that to happen. I want you to develop the project. I will give the ideology. I will teach everything. Guys, don't you think if I teach the foundation, assume that if I teach you how to play the cricket, if I teach you how to play the hook shot, if I try to teach how to play the straight drive, cover drive, all those things, do you think it is very difficult for you to play the cricket? Forget about whether you will be scoring 100 runs or whether you will be scoring 10 runs. At least, don't you think you can play cricket if I teach how to play cricket? Guys, that is what, as a trainer, what is my duty? I should initiate that fire within you. If everything is done by Sandesh, then why there is a difference between other trainer and Sandesh? What I will do, I will make you to develop that project. I will also develop. Parallelly, I will teach you whatever the foundation, whatever the basics that are required, whatever the framework that is required in order to understand all those things, I will teach. Later, you can just apply that knowledge on the project. Is that fine for everyone? Okay, very good. And if you're having any specific queries, please do contact me. The credentials for tomorrow's class will remain the same for Java, Python till this Friday. But make sure that from Monday onwards, your admission is done. And how many of them are attending Java classes? I don't know why some of them are not attending Java classes. Guys, do you think Java is not having the importance? Guys, Java is a evergreen programming language. Right now, Python may be in the trending. Fine, Python is used in data science, machine learning, or artificial intelligence. Still, huge amount of projects were built using Java in the IT company. As a fresher, if they are recruiting any person, minimum criteria as a fresher in today's world, that is 2020, you should be having the solid knowledge on Java as well as Python. Then only you can just enter into the IT company.